I found myself genuinely alone. I didn't have my family that I was in love with. I didn't have my family that I grew up with on my dad's side or my mom's side. I was battling depression, PTSD, anxiety, a lot of undealt with traumas, the weight of the world on my shoulders. Looking in the mirror and feeling worthless. I had no hope. I didn't know who I was. I was in so much pain. I remember being in a fetal position, and the pain was so deep that I couldn't breathe. I wanted to scream, but nothing would come out. I wasn't eating at all. I couldn't sleep for days at a time. I started abusing any prescription medications I could. Drinking to numb. I mean, I was going to end it all anyway. And divine intervention. You know, when you're truly in a place where it's just you, and you begin to work through some pain, some traumas, and see things from a different perspective, you begin to grow. You begin to work through, like the only way through traumas and pains and anxiety, the only way to get past them is to work through them. And everybody says it like it's so easy. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about it. We don't want to work through shit, so we do whatever we can to stay distracted. We lose sight of ourselves as we grow up, because from the time that we're little, we begin to be fed all these things, almost as if we're being programmed, almost as if we are supposed to listen to only the teachers that have brought us up. And yeah, I'm not saying that that's wrong, but when you begin to find your identity in solely that, pieces of you begin to fade away. Your voice and the voice of others in your mind get confused, and you no longer know which one's yours and which one's someone else's. And that's when you start projecting things on other people, or your perception gets flawed, or things happen to where you feel worthless. You feel anxiety. You feel depression. You feel the weight of the world. You feel alone. You feel hopeless. And sometimes you self-sabotage. Sometimes you wonder how the fuck you got there. Sometimes life just happens and it's out of your control. Sometimes you're the one that's causing the pain. And so then you beat yourself up. And then you don't even realize it, but 15 years ago this happened and you thought you dealt with it, but you really didn't. So it's still carrying on with you. And you think you're free, or you think you're doing your best, but are you? Like, I'm the most selfish person I know. Because I realized and I discovered that the only way to be selfless is to be selfish. So here I am, 1 year. 1 year. And look at this. Look how beautiful this is. I never gave up. I never lost hope. I began to find my voice again. All the other voices began to fade. The ones of my mom, my dad, my siblings, teachers. Unhealthy relationships. Without knowing it, we pick stuff up. It's a natural thing. But it brings on expectations, limitations. I'll give you an example. Being bisexual and growing up in a Christian home, I didn't come out until not that long ago. That's a lot to carry. Of course, everyone was so accepting for the most part, and the thing is like at the end of the day, we are told that if we don't follow the truth of how we've been taught, then we're wrong. But at the end of the day, our truth and who we are at our core and what we believe, that's what matters. Because if we're not living our truth, then who are we? Because my decisions today, I make them. I don't need someone else to validate a decision that I'm gonna make. I've spiraled and I've kind of gone all over the place because it's so hard to wrap up an experience so intense and to really be able to express and explain what it's truly like to rebuild yourself from scratch, to allow the old version to die so that you can be reborn. And so every day, every single day, I decided back in November 2022 to start documenting my life. I didn't know why. I had no idea. In fact, I thought I was through the worst of all of it, to be honest. Whew. I didn't know what was coming next, that's for sure. But I began to thrive. I began to find myself. I began to change. I began to become a version of myself at my authentic core. Like, I look in the mirror today and I'm beautiful. I'm so beautiful. Unrecognizable. I don't need validation from another. I don't need somebody to give me an opinion, to you want to find who you are? You know, I think about it like this, right? We have all these people trying to tell us what we should we have artists, right? Like Dax. Holy shit. His music got me through so much. NF, wow. Kalichi, like, I feel you guys. I am like you guys. Like, I remember way back in February when I was just making videos, because that's how I process, that's who I talk to. I found myself through recording and documenting the last year of my life. And there became a point over the winter where I began to say, these are my people. They're my people. I know they're my people because they know me and I know them. We just haven't met yet. We just haven't met. I know we will. There's no doubt about it. When we do, I'm gonna give you guys the biggest hug. Now here's the difference between what your calling is and what my calling is. Now, I've always wanted to be an artist, so I'm really hoping one of you guys are going to teach me, or like maybe I can sing with Tracy Chapman sometime. Music has always been my heart, my passion. I played drums. I was teaching myself how to play electric guitar through all this. Like, I'm going through the worst months of my life and I'm thriving, right? Like, I'm finding who I am at my core and I'm living the best I've ever lived. And in building who I am again, in finding me, and becoming my authentic self, in knowing what I know now, I knew one thing. I have to share it with the world. The true meaning. You guys talk about traumas and pain. You talk about overcoming them. You relate to people through music. There's healing, there's power, there is endlessness and inspiration. Now, what I've done, and without even knowing that this is what it'd be, pretty much until now, we're just like, holy shit moment. I'm the one that's taken every day to show people how to get there, how to find hope again, how to love themselves again. I'm the living proof of turning nothing into everything. I'm the living definition of it's a very intense moment. Like, I mean, I do circle back around, but here's an example. You're gonna see the moment where I shaved my head. Because I videoed it. I've always had long hair. Something happened. And when I shaved it off, it was as if it resembled a fresh start. through my journey, in just the last few months, I found what it means to truly be free. I've found peace. I found what it means to love yourself again. I went from hopeless, nothing, no one, to everything. I had filed bankruptcy. I had lost everyone. I live in a beautiful home today. I have my own car today. Papa Jax is healthy and thriving and happy. What I did and what I've done is like nothing anybody's ever done before. I took every day and I recorded and I documented and I show what it means and what it looks like to get to the core, to work through your shit, to work through your pain, to work through your trauma, to take one step at a time even when you feel like you have nothing left to give, where you're so sick physically, where you literally are crawling in an empty house to make food for your dog who's also sick from stress. Hospital visits. Getting my car. Moving into my new home. You get to see every step that it takes from being in your, what I call, prison of the mind, and breaking free. Breaking free. Healing. Growing. And ultimately finding who you actually are at your core. Your authentic self. Where you just see the world through a new pair of eyes. You have love for your enemies. You live true to yourself. You have healthy boundaries. You forgive. I'm not saying that relationships stay the same or that you don't cut people out. Or that it's not hard as fuck. Because it's the hardest thing you have to do. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I found I'm living proof of the unimaginable. If you're struggling with drug addiction, if you're struggling with hopelessness, anxiety, PTSD, depression, suicidal thoughts, abandonment, abuse, I've been there. I know it. Loss. Death of family members. Other family members trying to end their lives. I've been there. I've walked in your shoes. I know what it's like. And I know how to break free. Truly, truly free. I had a family. A beautiful family. But I didn't know who I was. And so when shit hit the fan, I didn't know how to deal with it. I changed. I let everybody else's circumstances affect me on a deep level. Again, being an empath is something that, I was called sensitive all the time, dramatic. Yeah, when you feel what everyone else feels, that's a lot. But it also means I relate. I genuinely know. And I've genuinely lived through more than you can imagine. My traumas started at age 4. I know I don't look like it, but I'm 32. In this last year, I have the key. On ultimate freedom, ultimate peace, ultimate healing. And I'm just getting started. And it's so beautiful. I'm limitless today. I am limitless. I'm my only limitation. I have found me in ways that people never will. But for those willing, those ready, the ones that are tired, broken down, just done. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't say fuck it. I've got you. And there are others like me. Not exactly like me. But you are not alone. And I can't give enough credit to the artists that got me through my darkest days. My name's Katelyn Alise, born 12/6/1990. I'm a Sagittarius. The fire is burning within me and ready to be released for all to see. I'm the light, the warmth in this dark world. I don't have a mean bone in my body. And all I want is to help people be free and happy and at peace and help them work through the past so they can be in the present, so they can have a beautiful future, so they're free. This isn't going to reach everyone. There's going to be so many that don't understand. But you know who you are. And if this speaks to you, you're not alone. If this speaks to you, reach out. It's time for healing. It's time for a fresh start. It's time for you to remember who you truly are. I can't believe today is actually the day. September 9th, 2023. And all these months, I didn't know why. But I never gave up. I never shared what I was doing. I've worked on me every day. Every day. And my way is not ordinary, but it's extraordinary. And I can't wait to share it and help others heal and grow and become their authentic selves. Because it's the most freeing, peaceful, loving experience that there is in this entire world. Katelyn Alise, from the ashes. Woo! It's gonna be good. That's all I got for now.